Good morning, dear students. So, how are you? I hope you must have completed the reading of the chapter Should Wizard Hit Mommy? If not, please read the story. And today in our video, we are going to read the rest part of the story that we haven't completed, and we will come to know that how the decisions, the ideas, the viewpoints of the parents differ from the children, and the children have a different perspective. They have a way of looking at things around the world, the things that are around them, and parents have a different perspective, and how they both have to cope up with each other. They have to agree to each other. This is the moral issue that we are going to discuss, and in the form of a long question. And we are also going to think about the moral issue raised. That is, should the parents impose their thoughts, views, and they direct the children that they should think according to them? So, what should be the viewpoint? What do you feel? This is the question that is raised in this chapter, and John Updike, the author, has always been very interested keenly in this kind of issues in the society. So please follow the video. Thank you. Now, students, we have read till where Roger Skunk had gone to the wizard, and wizard had used some magical words, and he had changed the bad smell into the smell of roses. So now we continue with the story, and in this part of the story you will see how Jo does not accept the ending of the story said by her father, and whereas Jack is different and he has a different end to the story. Now till then, all the stories that Jo had heard from her father had a happy ending, and which pleased and made Jo happy. But this story, Roger Skunk's story, was slightly different, and therefore you will see that Jo was not happy with the ending of the story. She wanted a different ending, and she urged her father to change the ending of the story. And therefore, and what was that? Why did she want a different ending to the story? Let us read the chapter and find out. Now, in this part of the chapter that we are going to read now is that when Jack was telling the story, he was interrupted by Jo many a times, and she raised a question that why it should happen, and she hated Skunk's mommy because she did not like Skunk's behavior of Skunk's mummy. So we start with it. Jo was starting to fuss with her hands and look out of the window at the crack of a day that showed under the shade. So now the crack of the day tells you that it was almost early morning, because the day had begun. It seemed the whole night Jack had to do a lot of efforts to make his daughter sleep, but she could not sleep, and she went on asking a number of questions. And therefore you can see there again the first line tells you that Jo was starting to fuss with her hands. She was highly excited, she was anxious, and due to that anxiety and excitement she went on fussing with her hands, and she looked out of the window. Now the whole night she did not sleep, but she felt that the story was all over. She thought the story was all over because it was morning time, and it was time to get up. Jack did not like women when they took anything for granted. The author has said that Jack liked women apprehensive, hanging on his words. This shows that Jack had a superiority complex, and he felt that his wife and daughter should behave and listen to what he said and hang on his words. They should be apprehensive. Apprehensive means fearful, So here he wanted his daughter to be fearful and wondering what the end of the story should be. So he attracts the attention of Joe and says, "Now, Joe, are you listening?" Yes, because this is a very interesting. This is very interesting. Roger Skonk's mommy said, "What's that awful smell?" What? So here you can see Jack has continued the story, and he tells Joe that when Roger Skunk went home, his mommy asked, "What was that awful smell?" Now, the smell of roses was awful for Skunk's mommy because it was not the smell that the skunks had. What? And Roger Skunk said, "It's me, mommy. I smell like roses." And she said, "Who made you smell like that?" And he said, "The wizard." And she said, "Well, all the nerve. You come with me and we are going right back to that very awful wizard." So you can see that here mommy was not happy with the smell of roses because that was not the characteristic smell of the skunks, and she was annoyed. Therefore she told Roger Skunk that they would immediately go to the wizard, and look at the line. She says, "Of all the nerve." Of all the nerve means that she wants to get rid of this anger, and therefore she takes Roger Skunk back to the wizard. Joe sat up, her hands dabbling in the air with genuine fright. "But Daddy," then he said, "about the other little animals run away." Her hands skittered off into the underbrush. So she was completely restless. You can see that Joe skittered her hands into the underbrush. That is, when she was looking out of the window, she could touch the tip of the bushes there outside, and she touched that, and she showed her fright, and she asked her father whether Roger Skunk told the reason why he had got the smell changed. She says, "Daddy, he should have told that animals run away. That was the situation, which was the worst situation for Roger Skunk." "All right," he said, "but mommy, all the other little animals run away." And she said, "I don't care." So Daddy accepted. Jack accepted that Roger Skunk had told. So she was, now you can see how she had grown up, and therefore whatever stories she had been listening for the past 2 years, now she was able to anticipate what the next action would be. So she was telling the story beforehand, and Jack accepted. Yes, Roger Skunk had said that all the animals run away, mommy, and Roger Skunk's mother said, "I don't care. You smelled the way a little skunk should have. I am going to take you right back to the wizard." So he tells the reason also, and Skunk's mother said that you should smell the way a little skunk should have. That is, your smell should be just like what the smell of a skunk is, and therefore you should go back to the wizard. And she took an umbrella and went back with Roger Skunk and hit that wizard right over the head. No, see, I hope you also must be thinking that this should have been the reaction of the girl, because she did not like Roger Skunk's mother. And when Roger Skunk's mother had taken such a drastic step of hitting the wizard on his head, she shouted no and put her hand out to touch his lips. She touched Jack's lips, her father's lips. That is, she wanted him to not to tell such kind of story. She wanted to stop him, and therefore she touched her father's lips. And yet, even in her agitation, irritation and anger, did not quite dare to stop the source of truth. Inspiration came to her. Then the wizard hit her on the head, and did not change that little skunk back. So the inspiration came to her. Inspiration means she was inspired to tell the story further. So when she could not stop Jack, she did not quite dare to stop the source of truth. Source of truth is Jack's mouth. She kept her finger on her father's mouth or lips, but she could not stop the source from giving out the truth. She was inspired immediately to tell the story further. So what is the story she wanted to, this was the end she wanted to say. Then the wizard hit her on the head. So instead of her father, Jo said the story, and she said, yeah, then what happened? When mother hit wizard hit her on the head and did not change that little skunk back. No, he said. When she gave this story further, Jack was annoyed and he said, no, this is not the story. The wizard said, okay. So he changes the story. He has a complete different view of the story, and he tells Jo, no, it was not like that. Wizard did not hit her back. The wizard said, okay, and Roger's skunk did not smell of roses anymore. He smelled very bad again. But the other little Aman, oh Aman, Joan, it's daddy's story. So these are the words, amam, that is, she was mumbling and fumbling on some words. She wanted to say something. She wanted to continue the story in her own way, but daddy stopped her and told Joan, it is daddy's story. Daddy is telling you the story. It is not your story that you go on telling whatever way you like. Shall daddy not tell you any more stories? Now Jack is completely annoyed, and you can understand that Jack was trying to make her sleep, one thing that she did not sleep, and the second cause of his irritation was that his wife, who was pregnant, was working all alone and he had to help her, and he was helpless at that time. Her broad face looked at him through sifted light, astounded, surprised. And this is what happened then. Skunk and his mommy went home and they heard woo woo, and it was the choo-choo train bringing Daddy Skunk home from Boston. So now in the very beginning, if you remember, in the beginning also, this was the pattern of the story told by Jack to Jo. And Jack used to tell when the animal used to be happy, and in the end everybody was happy, and the Roger animal, whichever animal he chose, used to go back home and wait for daddy, and then they used to have supper together. So here also the same thing happened, that Roger Skunk and his mommy went home and they heard the sound of the train and were happy that their daddy was coming back home from Boston. And they had lima beans, celery, liver, mashed potatoes, and pie oh my for dessert. So all this that they had supper together. And lima beans are actually white flattened beans, which are edible beans, and celery also a kind of edible plant, and they had a good supper that day. And when Roger Skunk was in bed, Mommy Skunk came up and hugged him and said he smelled like her little baby skunk again, and she loved him very much. So do you think that Roger Skunk's mommy was happy? Yes, she was happy, because even though Roger Skunk, the smell was bad, but it was the peculiar smell of of the skunks, and so she was happy. She loved Skunk very much, and she hugged Roger Skunk, and she was happy to have that smell again back on her baby. And that's the end of the story. So this is the story that Daddy told Jo. But Daddy, see now the questions, how the questions are coming up. And it was already morning time, early morning, and Jack was troubled by the thought that he was unable to help, and he was caught in a middle position, that he was neither able to make the children sleep or for Joe sleep, and on the other hand, nor was he able to help his wife. So you can see that how Joe raises a number of questions to her father, and father, being caught in a middle position, was troubled by the fact that he was not able to make his daughter sleep by telling her stories. On the other hand, Joe was quite awake, and she asked her daddy, then did the other animals run away? No, because eventually they got used to the way he was and did not mind it at all. So she was really worried whether other animals used to run away because of the bad smell again. Because this is the concern of little children, they want to be with their peers, they want to play with the other children, they want that they should be accepted in the group. And this is the major concern of the children, and or you can say that it is the child psychology, that they be appreciated, they be friendly with the other children. And she was worried when Roger Skunk had got the bad smell back, will the other animals still play with him? And this was the very inquisitive question asked by Joe to her father. And Jack told that no, it was not, because eventually other animals got used to the bad smell, and they did not make Roger Skunk run away from there, or either they did not run away from there, they used to play with him. He wanted to make Joe happy with that statement because he knew the concern of his daughter. What's even shalladi? Even shalladi means in a little while. In a little while, that is, in a short time. That was a stupid mommy. So now another statement comes, and you can see with this particular statement how Joe is expressing her hatred towards Skunk's mother. She still did not like, even though the animals played with Roger Skunk, they did not ignore him, even though he had got the bad smell back. But Joe was not ready to accept this kind of behavior, and she said she had a repulsion and hatred for Skunk's mommy. It was not, he said with rare emphasis, and believed from her expression that she realized he was defending his own mother to her, or something as odd. So when he refused to accept this kind of behavior or attitude from Joe, Jack said, no, it was not stupid of Roger's mommy, because Roger's mommy is a very sensible and wise lady. He wanted to tell Joe that mommies or parents are more sensible and they are wiser than their children. They know that what is good and what is right for their kids, and therefore he does not accept that she was a stupid mommy, as though it seemed that Jack was defending his own mother. Now I want you to put your big heavy head in the pillow. Now look at the words big heavy head. Big heavy head, because she was going on asking many questions, and as though she had a number of questions in her head which she wanted to clarify from her father. So Jack was angry now by this time, and he told her that you better put your big head in the pillow and have a good long sleep. He adjusted the shade so that even a crack of day showed, and tiptoed to the door. So he adjusted the shade. Shade is the curtain on the window, and he adjusted the shade so not even a crack of day showed, that is, not even the slightest light could enter the room. And he tiptoed to the door. Look at the word tiptoed. Tiptoed means very quietly moving out of the room, walking on toes. in the pretense that she was already asleep. So he just pretended that Jo was already asleep, and therefore he did not want to disturb her. So when Jack was carefully moving out of the room, he turned and he saw that Jo was not asleep. She was so restless that she stood up and bounced gingerly on the springs. That is, she came out of the bed sheets and she started jumping on the bed. On the springs, matlab, the bed that was having springs. And she called her father and said that tomorrow I want you to tell me the story that the wizard took that magic wand and hit that mommy. Her plump arms means healthy. She was healthy baby, and her arms were very plump, and she lifted her muscular arms and she shouted right over the head that tomorrow, the next day, she wants the story in which the wizard took the magic wand and hit that mommy. So she was stuck upon that thought that somehow Roger Skunk's mother should be punished because she did not like that mommy or that mother. No, that's not the story. The point is that the little skunk loved his mommy more than he loved all the other little animals, and she knew what was right. So Jack is giving the reason, and he says that no, that cannot be the story, because the point is that little skunk loved his mommy more than he loved all the other animals. So skunk behaved in a very good manner. He was a good child for his mother, and he loved his mommy more and respected what his mommy wanted, respected his mother's decision, and therefore she knew what was right. He accepted what his mother felt was right for him. No, tomorrow you say he hit that mommy. See again, how she is reiterating and she is repeating her sentence, the end of the story. She wants this story to be like this. The end of the story should be that the wizard hitting the mommy, and she wants the mommy to be punished. So she is again and again repeating the same sentence and telling her father, no, the story should be ended in this manner. Do it. She kicked her legs up and sat down on the bed with a great heave and complaint of springs, as she had done hundreds of times before. So you can see that how there is a difference between the parents, the perspective of the parents and the perspective of the children. Parents want their children to do and think as they wish, but even a small child of 4-year-old has her own views, has her own perspective and ideas, and therefore she wants the parents to think in her way. Now you can see in the last paragraphs of the story that she did not laugh. Say it, daddy. She reiterated and repeated this. Say it, daddy. Say it, daddy. Say it means say that the ending was like this, that the wizard had hit mommy. Well, we will see. Well, we will see. See, this is what the parents' view is. So you have to take note of that. What do the parents say? Yes, we will see. I hope you also can relate this kind of problem with your own self. That is, when you also give your opinion and thought and your view to your parents, how do they behave? They some parents may be shouting back at the kids that it's wrong and so on, but some parents who are very very wise and sensible, they say, okay, yeah, we will see, it should be like you are. So they don't this is how they don't accept, they neither accept and nor refuse their kids views or perspectives. So Jack also said, we will see. Now at least have a rest, stay on the bed, you are a good girl. And he somehow wanted to make the girl sleep, so he said, okay, whatever, we will see what we are going to say in that story. You sleep at that moment. He closed the door and went downstairs. Claire, his wife, had spread the newspapers and opened the paint can, and wearing an old shirt of his on top of her maternity smock, was stroking the chair rail with a dipped brush. Above him, footsteps. So as soon as he went downstairs, he saw that his wife was busy doing the work. She was also continuously making efforts to paint the things downstairs. Above him, footsteps were vibrating, and he called, "Joan, shall I come up there and spank you?" So, even though when he had come downstairs, closing the door, requesting his daughter to sleep, she did not sleep. In fact, when he was downstairs, he could hear the footsteps vibrating above him. And therefore, he shouted, "Joan, shall I come up there and spank you?" Spank you means hit you, give a tight slap. The footsteps hesitated, and at that moment only the footsteps stopped. Though now, Jack, you can see this is the condition of the parent when he is so irritated by the child that he finally tells that he would slap her. That was a long story Claire said. So his wife also was feeling that that was a long story, and her husband was taking all the efforts and feeling very tired in telling a long story to Joe. "The poor kid," he answered, and with utter weariness. Now, why did he say the poor kid? Because parents are like that, they get irritated, but they love their kids, therefore they have full sympathy for their child. And he was thinking that he was not able to answer all the questions raised by Joe, his daughter, and therefore he said, "The poor kid." And with utter weariness, tiredness, watched his wife labor, wife working hard, painting all the woodwork, cage of moldings and rails and baseboards all around them, was half old tan and half new ivory. So he saw that all the woodwork, the moldings, the cage, the rails, the baseboards, all these around that she had to paint were only half of them was painted. Half old tan black color, half were old black color, that was not painted, and half new ivory color, the pale white color was, half of them was newly white painted. And he felt caught in an ugly middle position, and though he as well felt his wife's presence in the cage with him, he did not want to speak with her, work with her, touch her, anything. So the story ends with the monotonous life of the parent or Jack, who wanted to feel the love of his wife and his child, but he seemed to be caught up in a middle position where he was so tired that he did not want to help his wife anymore, because he had a tough time making his daughter sleep, and therefore he felt as though he was in a cage. He was caught up in a cage. He was imprisoned with his wife, and he had no wish to talk to her, speak to her, or touch her, or do any kind of help for her. So with that, we come to the end of the chapter, and now I will be discussing a few long answer questions with you. The questions that you will find in the video, please write it down, read the question, the answers, and write it down in your own words with all the new ideas there. Thank you. So dear students, we are going to discuss this question in this video. How does Joe want the story to end, and why? Jack ends the story in a way that seems unusual to Joe. In her dream world, the wizard is a miracle worker. She can't digest the statement that the little skunk's mother hit the wizard right on his head with her umbrella, and he agreed to do what she desired. Roger Skunk did not smell of roses anymore. He smelled very bad again because of the wizard. Joe did not want the story to end in this way. She had in mind the pleasure of all the little animals. She says, "But Daddy, Then he said about the other little animals run away. Her father admits it. He agrees that Roger Skunk told his mother, but mommy, all the other animals run away. The mother does not bother about them. She says bluntly, I don't care. You smell the way a little skunk should have. Joe can't digest the ending that the mother hit the wizard right over the head and he made Roger Skunk smell very bad again. She suggested to her father to end the story in another manner. The wizard hit her on the head and did not change that little skunk back. She wanted that stupid mommy to be punished and insisted repeatedly on the changed ending next night till her father agreed to consider it, saying, well, we will see. So students, you can see that in this question you have to write the answer how there was a confrontation between or a difference of opinion between father and the daughter while the father was telling the story to a grown-up daughter, that is, who was 4 years old. Now the next question that is important from the board point of view is, what makes Jack feel caught in an ugly middle position? Jack feels that he has been caught in an ugly middle position physically, emotionally, as well as mentally. The woodwork, a cage of moldings and rails and skirting boards all around them was half old tan and half new ivory. He was conscious of his duties as a father and as a husband. Little Bobby was already asleep. His efforts to make Joe fall asleep proved quite fatiguing, very tiresome. So it was not a very easy job to make his 4-year-old daughter sleep. She kept on interrupting him, asking for clarifications, pointing errors and suggesting alternatives. Jack did not like that women should take anything for granted. He liked them to be apprehensive. So he extended the story. Though he was in a haste to go downstairs and help his pregnant wife in her hard work of painting the woodwork, the result of he liked them to be apprehensive. So he extended the story. Though he was in a haste to go down stairs and help his pregnant wife in her hard work of painting the woodwork. The result of the extension to the story proved unfruitful and unpleasant for Joe, Jack and Claire. Joe wanted him to change the ending of the story. Claire complained that he had told a long story. Jack felt utter weariness and did not want to speak with his wife or work with her or touch her. He was really caught in an ugly middle position. So in this question you are just going to write how a father who had taken the responsibility of making his daughter sleep, and by the time his wife doing some work, he thought that he would join her by making the child sleep, but he was in an ugly middle position because he could neither make the child sleep nor help his wife. Now the third question that we are going to consider is, why is an adult's perspective on life different from that of a child's? An adult's perspective on life is different from that of a child's because of the difference between their respective experiences and exposure to the world around them. Though we may feel that our parents are nagging, they do not listen to us, but actually the difference is because of their high experiences and exposure to the world. An adult comes across all sorts of experiences, good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, happy or sad, encouraging or discouraging. The child lives a sheltered life under the protection and love of his parents. In their rosy dream world of fairies and wizards, nothing good is impossible for their favorite characters. Their adoration of these characters is nothing short of hero worship. The world of make believe makes the children lovers of romance, beauty, and all the things pleasant in nature. These characters and their super feats, which appear so real in stories, may not be real at all in real life. The adults who are familiar with harsh realities of life know that all that glitters is not gold. Everything is not honey. They accept things critically with a pinch of salt. Children usually lack this quality. So, students, you can write the answer in your own words as well, and you can also refer to these answers. Do not copy down the answers, just take a hint from them, and you can write your answers, better answers in your own way. Thank you.